Once again, the United States lineup, they'll be starting tonight in a 4-4-2 from the drop, and so much of the attention up front between Altidore and Aaron Johansson. A chance to see him from the drop.
Absolutely. This 4-4-2 and the way that is played with two out-and-out strikers up there and Mixed Discaru being that man in the middle, the maestro in the midfield, if you will. A different way of playing a very, very attacking lineup. We'll see how it translates into whether it's right from the whistle, putting massive amounts of pressure on a team in Jamaica that is also desperate and is going to be bombing forward too and creating lots of spaces.
Jamaica with Deshaun Brown up front with Ryan Johnson and Darren Maddox. 3 MLS strikers, all with great pace.
And I think that's the big point for the U.S. team defensively, is to look at that pace up front and how do you adapt to it. I would assume that back line for the U.S. would play just a little bit deeper and not allow them the space to run in behind, because those are 3 very quick players.
Well, the USA qualified, but all the drama on the individual side with players Ian Dark and Taylor Twellman trying to make their case. They belong tonight in Brazil.
Yeah, what an atmosphere here. You'd love to play in this. Opportunity knocking for a few U.S. players tonight. So, Taylor, who's your Gatorade prime to perform player?
Well, Ian, I've got 2 players that are playing for that roster spot in Brazil tonight, and you start off with Mixed Discaru. We've seen what he can do off the bench. The goal against Russia, the assists against Mexico, but tonight, can he be more of a two-way player in front of Jermaine Jones in the midfield? And then up front, Aaron Johansson, what does he bring to this U.S. attack? With Josie Altidore up front, Bedoya and Donovan out wide, Johansson's first start for the United States could be memorable.
So what a superb atmosphere as ever in Kansas City. They've so looked forward to this game, and they can live it without really chewing their fingernails this time, because the USA will be in Brazil come what may, but they do want to put on a performance here. This is the last competitive game, after all, before the World Cup finals, which are still 8 months away. But as Jurgen Klinsmann says, the preparations are underway. Let's not forget here, though, that Jamaica still improbably have a mathematical chance of making the playoffs. That is finishing 4th in this hexagonal group. They are bottom at the moment. They have to win here, win in America for the very first time, and they have to win their final game and hope other results fall their way. It's an unlikely scenario, but they have to go for it, and that's why I think they've picked 3 Major League Soccer attackers here to try to really get at the United States defense. Cameron to get it away. Chance for him to play in his favoured position of centre-back. He doesn't do it for his club Stoke City, where he's right back. And this is Mixed Discaru, who's got the job of starting in a World Cup qualifier for the first time. He's looked good in cameos so far when we've seen him. The Watford player, Lloyd Doyley, playing it down the line. There are 1 or 2 players from the Championship in England, the second tier in the ever-changing Jamaican lineup. They've got 8 changes tonight, so they're trying out a few new things. Some of the players they've been relying on have been left out of this squad for one reason or another. Some injuries, some personal issues. That's what we're told anyway. They will need to build a settled side. They haven't won in the Hex so far. 4 defeats and 4 draws, but they have improved a little under their new German coach, Winfried Schäfer, the former Borussia Mönchengladbach player. Well, that's pretty confident, isn't it, from the goalkeeper, Dwayne Kerr? Taylor, how difficult for the USA to play with the same kind of edge when they know deep down the job's already done?
Well, I think that's why Jurgen Klinsmann brings in some fresh faces, some opportunities to keep the players on their toes. But I think the key matchup tonight for the U.S. defensively is the support out wide. We've seen Brad Evans struggle at times dealing with the speed. Tonight he's up against Darren Maddox. So can Alejandro Bedoya, Jeff Cameron offer support defensively when dealing with Maddox one-on-one?
Those 3 who've been included from Major League Soccer have got 20 goals between them in the league so far this season. Deshaun Brown is making his debut, having scored after 14 seconds for Colorado Rapids in the latest set of games. That is the second fastest goal in MLS history. He's 22 years old.
But I think this is a good test for Jurgen Klinsmann to assess the back four tonight.
And Cameron and Beasler, by the way, have never played together as a central defensive partnership. Doyley plays it in for Jamaica. This is Rodolphe Austin, a battering ram of a midfield player who plays for Leeds United in England. Altidore says, who, me? Still waiting for his first Premier League goal for his new club, Sunderland, so far, though he's a little bit unlucky not to get one against Arsenal.
Unlucky?
Yeah.
Ball was in.
If you didn't see it, the referee pulled it back for a foul on Altidore, despite the fact that he'd scored. But he has scored, Taylor, in his last 5 starts for the United States. We've got a bit of defending to do here.
With the amount of numbers that Jamaica has pushed forward here, Ian, if the United States defend this well, they have the speed on the counter with Bedoya and Donovan out wide.
It's played in towards Ryan Johnson, who did win the header, but it's gone behind for a goal kick. Jurgen Klinsmann has already started the preparations for Brazil and has got the training camp sorted out already near Sao Paulo. Jermaine Jones pressed high up the pitch there and stays down injured. That was a good bit of play there by Jamaica. They caught Jones napping a little and he's picked up an injury. There was a bit of a scare a few days ago about this lingering knee injury he seems to have. There was talk he'd be out for a few weeks, but he says he's going to play on till the winter break and sort it out then. But I guess he's playing through a little pain at the moment. Altidore won the header well. Here's Bedoya. Johansson's waiting in the middle. Good play by Bedoya. And you wonder there whether Johansson's first touch in a US jersey might have been an attempt on goal. Donovan with the corner kick, winning his 154th cap tonight. The referee saw a bit of pushing and shoving, gives Jamaica the free kick. Playing for the USA might be a bit of respite for Altidore.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Jurgen Klinsmann has thrown Josie Altidore a lifeline because it's been chaos at Sunderland for him. Coaching changes. He hasn't had any opportunities whatsoever to really score goals. And tonight, he's got a supporting cast that will create some chances for him in front.
Brown trying to find a way through. He was carefully policed. Siobhan Watson played it wide. Phillips playing it inside. And Brown was there again. He's going to come off that right-hand touchline, I think, to Sean Brown and cause chaos where he can.
It's pretty obvious Jamaica's going to come in here in high press, so this is very important now that Diskerud and Jermaine Jones provide some support in order to distribute out of the back for the United States.
This is a tactic being tried around the world by more and more teams. Not let teams build from the back, press them high, as Taylor was saying. That's exactly what Jamaica are doing here. It does carry risks, however, if you can break fast from it and escape the press. Demar Phillips is going to take this with his good left foot. Decent ball, and Howard was caught out for a moment, and Evans scrambled it off the line there. That cross caused chaos. Back in again, Ryan Johnson, nearly Cameron hooks it away. The early pressure coming from Jamaica. They are the side with still something to play for in the group. Showing a bit too. McAnuff into a good area there. Well, it was a close run thing, Taylor.
Well, and the high pressure from Jamaica is causing problems early on in this game. Dangerous ball in from DeMar Phillips. Well done from Brad Evans to stay alive here. Players have a tendency to maybe get caught sleeping there, but Brad Evans on his toes there for the rebound.
Playing with plenty of belief here. Jamaica, the pressure off them a little bit. McAnuff looking for something on the volley, the Reading player. And here is the break. Here's Aaron Johansson getting his first start for the USA. He's had a couple of substitute appearances before. And the offside flag will be up there against Mattox. Fascinating to see how he does. A year ago, he was lined up to play for Iceland in a competitive game, and I think they would have played him, but he got a groin injury. Since then, he's decided he wants to play for the United States. He was born in Mobile, Alabama. Altador trying to win the header, beaten in the air by Mariappa. Jamaica's problem right the way through this group has been scoring goals. They've only got 3 in 8 matches so far. It's 1 every 4 hours on average. Great noise from the fans here in Kansas City, who have been holding their pep rallies and nights out in the build-up to the game. DeMarcus Beasley to play it deep for Josie Altador. One of those who has been to the World Cup before. He was part of the squad 4 years ago, as was DeMarcus Beasley, though he only played 11 minutes, Beasley, in 2010. Javon Watson got it away. Discarud on the volley. Couldn't keep it down. He has got a couple of goals for the US in his embryonic career already.
Mix Discarud has a great understanding of where that second ball is, particularly in the final third, and we've seen him when he comes off the bench at times. Just have that knack, that understanding of where to be. Good spot from Mix Discarud.
Half American, half Norwegian, and tweets in both languages, apparently. Got a lot of belief about him, Discarud, when he's out there, really right from the word go. I remember seeing him in South Africa a few years ago. Jones was caught again there by Javon Watson, and the referee wanting a word about that. Elmer Bonilla from El Salvador in charge here.
Well, it's only 11 minutes into this game, and Javon Watson is just immediately, anytime that ball is near him, it's a foul.
I think the referee said to him, "I'm on the case." He's watching it and he's counting. Seem to make a particular target of Jermaine Jones. Here is Javon Watson again. Him and Austin will give them plenty of combative qualities in that midfield. A more creative type is McAnuff. He's been given a more central role by the new coach. Captain of Reading when they were relegated from the Premier League last season. Doyley looking for a 1-2 with McAnuff. DeMarcus Beasley has established himself very much as the #1 left back. Who'd have bet on that a year and a half ago? Altador. Different system for the USA today, playing a 4-4-2 as opposed to the usual system where they have 2 holding midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders, and just Altador up front. Jamaica have only reached the World Cup finals once in their history. Famously, the Reggae Boys making it in 1998. Remember Dion Burton and Theodore Whitmore, the man who lost his job as the coach a few months ago. They did score a win at the finals as well against Japan. Theodore Whitmore got both the goals in that win as well. Here's Rodolphe Austin, forward to Mattox and then McAnuff. Decent start this from Jamaica.
And a sloppy start from the United States, Ian. They just seem a little uncomfortable right now with defensive positioning, dealing with the three front runners from Jamaica. But then immediately when they win the ball, they're giving up possession way too easily in the first 14 minutes.
Phillips, over 60 caps he's won, the left back. One of the many, many changes, and there have been an awful lot in this campaign by Jamaica, who started the group drawing 0-0 in the Azteca against Mexico.
And arguably they should have won that game.
Yes, I missed nearly an open goal in that match. Mattox wanted the throw in, but he wasn't going to get it. USA defending this 12-year unbeaten home record in World Cup qualifiers. Tremendous run. Doyley. Ryan Johnson. It's a goal kick. Jermaine Jones did his job well. On Sunday, the Seattle Sounders head to Portland to take on the Timbers. Big game, that one. That's 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. And in the West, things are very, very close indeed. Seattle on a bit of a dip at the moment. I think they've let in 9 in the last 2 games.
That's generous to say it's a bit of a dip.
I was trying to be kind.
And Portland's been unbeaten in their last 5. Huge game this weekend.
Clint Dempsey is back, fit again now for Seattle Sounders. He came on the other night, but not included, the skipper, in this squad because he has been out for a month before his return. Doyley to play it inside, not too accurately. This is Alejandro Bedoya, who's becoming a bit of a favourite of Jurgen Klinsmann. That wasn't his best piece of work, though. Getting the nod ahead of the hometown favourite Graham Zusi tonight. Not sure all the fans will appreciate that, but they do have Matt Beasler of Sporting Kansas City out there. Local boy too. Siobhan Watson involved in a few skirmishes early on. That one with Altidore. The referee says, yep, let's get on with it. McAnuff wearing the number 10 and cast in very much the number 10 role. Here's Deshaun Brown. Watson. Phillips. No free kick given. Now then, can they break quickly? Jermaine Jones. Oh, that was interesting. I think he was trying to pick up Altidore's run.
But that's kind of been the storyline, though, of the first half for the United States. Jermaine Jones does a great job defensively, wins the possession, but then they're trying to play that killer ball from 40, 50 yards across the field. Maybe have a little bit more possession, play Johansson into his feet, have Bedoya running off for him. But right now, the United States having a difficult time having a little bit of possession going forward.
Certainly the squall of pressure early on. Well, there was Brad Evans overlapping and not getting it. Altidore. Didn't see much of Donovan so far. Now DeMarcus Beasley. Robbed to Sean Brown. Beasley! And it goes for a corner kick. It did take a deflection on the way through that.
And great pressure from DeMarcus Beasley. Deshaun Brown in his first cap. This is too easy. And that is all DeMarcus Beasley applying pressure because the United States had finally pushed a little bit forward and got Jamaica on their heels. Well done from Beasley.
US giving Jamaica a bit of their own medicine there. Here's the US corner. Altidore couldn't reach it. Johansson with a chance to put his name up in lights. They've been going in for his club.
And that's why everyone is just salivating over the kind of player that Aron Johansson is. Watch this first touch. Dealing with the defender, but the first touch is absolutely perfect.
The problem was the second touch that time.
Yeah, but nerves are a big part of your first start for the U.S. team. Just getting chances, gets the rhythm going for a center forward. Good touch from Johansson.
You can see why he chose the United States, who do offer him the possible chance of going to Brazil, but it is only a possible chance at the moment. Jurgen Klinsmann's got plenty of thinking to do about many options that he has. He probably got about 14 or 15 names who look at the moment like lock-ins, but who'll know in 8 months' time.
Ian, we're 19 minutes into this game. How often have you said Landon Donovan?
Yep, he's not had too much of the ball so far for certain.
Bingo.
Here he is now, right on cue for you, Taylor. Mixed Discarud. Now Alejandro Bedoya. Good overlap here by Evans, but the tracking back was excellent by Matix, doing his job. Austin caught in possession. Donovan. Johansson. Ooh. In the nick of time, Mariappa was there. Then Jermaine Jones hammering it wide.
This is what happens with Jamaica applying so many numbers forward. There are spaces, there are pockets of space in this midfield. And that's why I'm asking for Landon Donovan to find those seams. That way Johansson, Josie Altidore can run off the back shoulders of those center backs.
This is a great challenge. Watch this from Mariappa. He has to win this ball, and cleanly, and does. Mariappa, who plays for Crystal Palace, who are struggling a little to establish themselves in the English Premier League at the moment. He rather overran that one. Austin into the channel. Really has been a tough old road, this hexagonal. It seems like a very long one. It has been under a year, but it seems so much longer. McAnuff here with a good looking run, but he couldn't find the cross at the end of it. Later tonight, a pivotal game in the CONCACAF Hex as Mexico hosts Panama at the Azteca. That's live tonight, 9:15 Eastern on ESPN News. Also available on the Watch ESPN app. That is a must-win game for Mexico, who are in very real danger of missing the World Cup finals for the first time since 1990, when they were banned.
Is up 1-0, 92nd minute.
Yeah, and Honduras looking good to qualify as they did 4 years ago. Didn't do much when they got there, mind. Well cut out that was by Discarud. Set up a goal, didn't he, when he came on against Mexico? Discarud with a very cool and clever piece of play. You a fan of Discarud?
I am, and I think it's very important that tonight he shows he can be a little bit more of a two-way player with Jermaine Jones in the midfield. And every time this ball's been out of play, there's a conversation going on between Discarud and Jones, and I think there's still a little bit of growing on where their starting position is defensively. Jermaine Jones wants Discarud tucked in closer to him when they're defending and allowing Jamaica to push forward.
Jones is the one who's been given what Jurgen Klinsmann calls the number 6 role tonight. That is the anchor of the midfield, sitting in front of the defence. Discarud can get a bit further forward. Whether they get that blend right, we'll see. I think you're right, Taylor, though. They're learning to play with each other at the moment. Understandable.
Well, and the other problem right now for the United States is the speed of Jamaica up front has this back line defending way too deep. When that ball gets forward, you're seeing Jermaine Jones have a conversation with Cameron and Beasler to push forward, but they have to recognize and respect the speed up front for Jamaica.
Beasley got away with a bit of shirt tugging there under Sean Brown, who would have the pace, I think, to show most defenders a clean pair of heels. Looks like he could run a decent 400 meters to me. Do have one or two athletes you might have noticed, Jamaica.
They got arguably the two fastest players in MLS up front.
Not to mention the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt. That's the final score. Honduras getting the points they need, and that puts more pressure on Mexico, by the way. Costa Rica have already qualified. Jerry Bengtsson with the goal. Clinching a top 4 spot, that does, for Honduras. That means they at least will be in a playoff with New Zealand. Maybe a lot better than that, maybe automatically. Put themselves in a great position. Discarud. Bedoya's on the chase. Good defending by Phillips. Austin with a clever little header to Ryan Johnson. Beasler just got a foot in there. Javon Watson going for Jamaica, playing with plenty of composure. McAnuff, plenty of space. Howard couldn't hold that one. He almost invited him to shoot from 20 yards or so. It looked a bit like an invitation to trouble. Tim Howard will be next into the 100 club, I think, for the USA. Cap number 94 tonight for the goalkeeper. Will be on his way to his 3rd World Cup. I think you can say he's a lock-in, barring any injury. And probably his number 2, Brad Guzan, as well. And probably his number 3, Nick Rimando. Good play by Brown. Wanted the spectacular finish at the end of it. Here's Brad Evans. A right-back position for the United States. One that is pretty much up for grabs. And news today that Steve Cherundolo has taken another step forward on his recovery from what's been a long-term injury. That's good news.
Played 45 minutes in a friendly today, scored his penalty. I still believe that Steve Cherundolo is an X factor. If he can get fit and play at least 3 months before that World Cup. I mean, look at the experience you gain bringing in Steve Cherundolo to a World Cup as your right back again.
Donovan was brought down. That's got to be a free kick. Yeah, Cherundolo would be a plus, all right, even at the age of 34 now. He's had a nightmare with that knee injury. It's it's Javon Watson again. He's been putting in a few challenges already out there. Ref's keeping the cards in his pocket at the moment. Keep changing the goalkeepers, Jamaica, recently. Kerr getting the job tonight. It was Richard McCallum last time out. And before that, Donovan Ricketts. Quite a comeback for Landon Donovan after his controversial sabbatical, full of goals and assists. Taking this one, looking for another assist as well. Jones was arriving with a header. He hasn't scored for the US for 17 months, Jermaine Jones. Yes, look at that. Colombia have qualified. What a comeback they were. 3 down to Chile, but drew the match 3-3 in the end. Colombia will be at the World Cup finals. They've got some great players as well. Ecuador 1, Uruguay 0. So Uruguay, who made quite a recovery in that group, will have to sweat on it a bit longer. Massive result that for Ecuador. Qualified today, Belgium, Switzerland, Germany and Colombia, as we've just told you. And England beat Montenegro by 4-1, but still need to win their last game against Poland.
It only took you
Tuesday.
28 minutes to bring up the England game, my man. I thought you were going to start the open of the show with that.
Well, it was a much-needed win, I have to say that. And it was goalless at half-time.
You were sweating, don't lie.
Oh, yeah. But we've been doing that for years, by the way. That's Cameron clipping it forward. Here's Bedoya. Nobody really had made a run forward in support of the cross there, but then Doyley, quite unnecessarily, gives away a corner.
But Ian, that's a great point from you, because how often have we seen the United States go forward in this first half with only 1 or 2 guys? Collectively, they are not getting numbers forward.
Donovan with the corner. Plenty of height in there. Cameron in particular. He didn't get there. Johansson on the volley. Well, he's having a couple of half chances, all right. You can see how much he wants a goal. He's beating himself up with every opportunity.
And it's great setup, because the United States throws 3 forwards near post, and Johansson just drifts wide open back post. Jamaica caught sleeping.
He's got 10 goals in 12 matches for his club Alkmaar in Holland. Joint 3rd top scorer in the league so far.
You can see early on this first half, though, that nerves are definitely a part of it. He's had a couple good opportunities wasted, but he's getting opportunities, which is positive in your first start.
Doyley won the header. Not totally convincing, that Jamaican defence. Austin is an old hand in there now, wearing the number 17 shirt. And Watson, as we've seen, can look after himself in that area. His ball here wide to Deshaun Brown. Ryan Johnson. Cameron bringing it away, finds Johansson. Oh, that's a lovely ball from him, and the flag is up against Altidore. Shame, because it was the right service. Betty never thought he'd be nicely qualified and watching like this in Easy Street by the 9th game. Not when it started with that defeat in a sweltering Honduras. Everybody was on the verge of major inquests. And I hope the US sent a crate of champagne to all the ground crew in Denver as well, who kept the lines alive that night, that famous night of the snowstorm. How did that game ever get completed?
That's a good piece of possession, though, from Mix Discarud. Defensively in a good spot, and then wins the ball and gets it going forward.
Bedoya and Altidore couldn't pick up his run again. It's a little bit disappointing, because the earlier part of the move was quite good. But the US just beginning, you feel, to pose more of a threat after a difficult opening 10 minutes or so. Discarud. Jeff Cameron. It's asking a bit too much of Bedoya, that one. On Tuesday afternoon, don't forget to tune in for the ESPN FC World Cup Whip Around. We'll take you from game to game during the final day of the group stage of European qualifying. That's Tuesday from 2:30 to 5 o'clock on ESPN2. It's a real fun show. You're part of that. Taylor and Adrian Healy as well. Join the boys for that.
It's the perfect remedy for soccer and anyone that has ADD, I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, it's a great climax as well.
It's at the same time. I love it.
So much happening, and it is kind of like a D-Day, isn't it, as well, for so many countries. USA have scored in 32 of their last 33 World Cup qualifiers. The exception was a rather decent goalless draw in the Azteca. Here's Beasley. Back to Beasler. That's going to confuse a few commentators at the World Cup, that's for certain. Always provided they're both selected, of course. It looks like they will be at the moment. Looks like to the manner born, Beasler, since he's come into the side. The breakthrough moment was that Azteca game for him. Here's Matt Beasler again. Now Jermaine Jones. Cameron, and Jürgen Klinsmann did say yesterday his best position is centre back, though he can play right back or defensive midfield as well.
That's fine, but he's playing right back for his club team. That's a difficult job for Jeff Cameron to then all of a sudden play 75–80% of your games at right back, and then all of a sudden come in at the international level and play center back.
And of course, the #1 pairing at the moment, Omar Gonzalez, who's injured for this one, and Matt Beasler, so he's got to dislodge one of those two.
Well, and I think Clarence Goodson has put his name into the hat as well. I'm not sure about the #1 pairing yet.
Austin. Doyley won't pick up that one. But you'd agree that at the moment, Gonzalez and Beasler are in pole position?
Yes.
But only for the moment, we'll see. Just lacking a little bit of sharpness and precision in their play so far. The US may be understandable in the circumstances. How much do the Jamaican players deep down believe they can pull off what looks a mission impossible? Win here, win a game on Tuesday at home, and
well,
that all the other results will fall their
chance,
way.
though, Ian, right?
Yeah.
As long as there's a chance.
But I think the selection here, I think, says to me that the coach is already starting to think of the next cycle a bit. Here's Mariappa. He and Doyley will know Jay Demerit, well, the former United States World Cup central defender, who's good to say he's nearly fit again, isn't he, now?
Oh yeah, his return to Vancouver has helped them a lot.
I know those from his Watford days, those two players. Bedoya to Diskerud. Now Brad Evans. He's in midfield for his club, right back. Between them, they've given the ball away in there. That's happened too many times for Jürgen Klinsmann's liking, I would think, in this first half. Here's Johansson, very much under the spotlight. Links up well there with Altidore, who couldn't feed him again. What he's showing Johansson is he can join in the play quite well as well when he drops deep. Maddox.
That's well done from Brad Evans. That is not the matchup Brad Evans wants. One-on-one with Darren Maddox and does a wonderful job recovering.
Because it was Brad Evans who got that dramatic winner away in the office against Jamaica. A key moment in the qualifying campaign. Great goal, wasn't it? Taken like a world-class striker.
You know, it's difficult when you're dealing with someone as fast as Darren Maddox, and it's tough because you don't want to get caught diving in, and Brad Evans does a good job of, yeah, maybe giving 3 or 4 yards to Darren Maddox, but in a good spot positionally, defensively. The problem I have right now with the United States, 37 minutes into this game, there's no urgency. It's really been a sloppy game from the United States going forward.
Well, it's what we were talking about at the beginning again, really, about whether the edge can be there, whatever said in the pre-match press conferences. Let's see if it's here this time. Altidore. It's rather overhit. Brown's ball inside. Does find a target in the end in the shape of Austin. Away goes Maddox again. Here's that one-on-one with Evans you were talking about. And Evans again comes out on top of it.
No way.
Well, he played the ball, didn't he? He played the ball surely there. I think the referee's view is he might have played the ball, but he also played the man. Let's see.
Brad Evans, good spot defensively. That's a bad call. In the laws of the game, yeah, he gets the ball here, and I understand that if it still can be a foul, but for me, that's not a foul.
No.
Good tackle from Brad Evans.
I'm with you on that. Absolutely. Evans is absolutely flabbergasted by that, and it might be quite important because here it is in quite a central position.
But see, that's the problem when you're defending speed like Darren Maddox.
Austin to take it. And it went about, what, 6 inches away? Tim Howard's not happy with the defending. I don't think he thought the wall was right. How close was this?
Extremely close. I mean, Austin does a good job at just hitting this with pace. Good free kick from Austin, but for my money, Tim Howard had it covered.
The net rippled as the ball bounced back off the advertising hoarding. I think some people in the crowd thought that was in. Rodolphe Austin, I think, knew it wasn't. Not quite. Good effort, though. That's the 4 goals so far in his international career. Cap number 60 for him. Today is almost part of the furniture for Jamaica now. Brown with the header down. Nicely played that by Javon Watson. Big picture, Jamaica have to win this to keep any sort of hope alive of even a playoff spot. Maddox. Phillips with a cross. It hit Bedoya and it hurt him too. Here's Altidore. Jersey's going to face a battle for his place, by the way, at Sunderland from Stephen Fletcher, top scorer who's fit again. See what Gus Poyet, the new coach, does about that. Some talk about the US maybe even getting seeded for the World Cup, but I think that is quite fanciful. And I think the ESPN Soccer Power Index rates the chances as 1 in 7,700 of that actually happening. Watson again, turning on the odd party trick in midfield there. Few players, by the way, on a yellow card and facing a suspension for the next game. Donovan in possession now is one of those players. None of the yellow cards will go over to the World Cup finals, I ought to add. That's a good ball. Donovan. Oh, he just couldn't seem to find his feet or get them worked out there. Eight goals in his last 8 matches for the USA, though, Donovan.
Well, and it's only the 3rd or 4th time that you've called Landon Donovan's name, and it's come from when Landon tucks inside and causes problems for that midfield from Jamaica. When he's stuck out wide left, standing on the touchline, it limits his space, but when he finds those seams inside the middle, he finds a little bit more of the game.
He's got 57 goals for the USA. The rest of this squad put together has 63.
Remarkable.
Yep. And he's been around a long time. 5 of those goals have come at the World Cup finals as well. Again, the US rather surrendering possession a bit too easily. It's Austin who's having a good game in that midfield for Jamaica, who's leading the assault. Doyley to lay it forward. Beasley got the foot in. Had to win it as well. Deshaun Brown. Nicely done by Cameron. Well, they've worked that very well, the US. Oh, Donovan's ball there was not the one at all that Beasler wanted in that area. He looked the most surprised man in the stadium that he got it there. Sloppy from the United States quite often in this first half.
No doubt about it. I mean, right there, U.S. does a good job. Jeff Cameron wins the ball. It takes 2 or 3 passes. Alejandro Bedoya is wide open on the opposite side.
I mean, this is not the day to judge it, but one of the questions going forward is going to be, to what extent are the USA closing the gap on the world elite? Diskerud gives the ball away there. That's rather typical of what's gone on here so far. And he doesn't win it back either. Ryan Johnson trying to create something. Cameron with the header away.
But Ian, you raised a question about the gap against the world elite. These are the kind of games where you step on Jamaica. You set the tone right away and you get on their throats and bury them.
That isn't happening. Jurgen Klinsmann's side are ranked 13 on the latest FIFA rankings, ahead of both England and France. Those two countries both former World Cup winners, of course. A year ago, US were ranked 36. They've gone up 23 places, in other words. Not covering themselves in glory here so far, though. It remains goalless. You see Jamaica's problem, why they've only scored 3. Well, quite a lot of the ball not created that much, not really. Watson's ball. It's cut out by DeMarcus Beasley. The flag was up anyway. Little bit of an after the Lord Mayor's show about this performance so far from the United States. That's a great ball, though. Jermaine Jones, mixed Diskerud. Terrific ball from Jones to find Diskerud there. Plays his football in Norway for Rosenberg. It was Diskerud. McAteer got the foot in there. Donovan. Now Johansson. Acres of space for Bedoya. Decent effort, but
that has been on the entire first half. Johansson has the wherewithal just to put his foot on the ball, look across, and find Bedoya wide open, switching fields.
There's going to be 1 minute of added time here. A goalless first half. Maybe Aaron Johansson could have got one. Easily reading that well. He does have good recovery speed. I mean, Tim Howard described him as developing into a quiet leader within the camp these days. Beasley. He's looking to get to his 4th World Cup finals. Quite an achievement, that. Austin pickpocketed the ball from Landon Donovan. Mattox cuts inside, danger here. Mattox straight at a grateful Howard. Couldn't find the finish to go with a good run. And that is half-time here. No goals between the United States and Jamaica. Not a great American performance so far. I wonder what the boys in the studio think of it. Let's go back to Bob Lee.
I'll tell you, Ian and Taylor, I think we're pretty much in agreement. Alexi, Casey, and myself, listless moments, and there were few of inspiration, but no urgency, because there is no team urgency, even though individually there are guys out there with this opportunity we talked about during the pregame to make an impression. No one really has.
Yeah, a little sloppy. I think you got to ask yourself, is there anything that you saw out there that is better than what you have seen in the past, or anything that maybe this team needs? And I don't think that that's the case. Aaron Johansson, yes, I thought he got opportunities out there, but maybe his spot is much more where Altidore is. Maybe his challenge is with Altidore up there. Mixed Diskerud, I don't think he's controlling the game. I thought defensively he'd do well, but didn't do that creative attacking type of play and throwing that flow that we talked about. So We'll see what happens in the second half.
And Brad Evans, though, with the save of the match.
Yeah, Brad clears the ball off the line. A couple good tackles against a very pacey Maddox on that left-hand side for Jamaica. Defensively, I think that the team's done well. They've kept Jamaica in front of them. They've reduced that space to get the ball over the top. Need to win a lot more balls in midfield. Second balls to kind of get out of their own half, and it just hasn't happened, and Jamaica's been able to do a little bit without really putting them under too much pressure.
It's a busy day around the world of qualifying in Europe and South America. Here in CONCACAF, Honduras with a win tonight. Mexico play tonight. A busy halftime. Highlights and scenarios and the whole qualification picture. Come on back.